Oh, hey everyone, it's Krista with Dimensional Healing. I had a friend request how I made my kombucha, so I said I was going to demonstrate it. It's not really that difficult, and here in Australia, I couldn't get a SCOBY. Well, I didn't actually spend much time looking. Instead, I I discovered a different way to create one. But I will go into that story as I make the tea part. One of the first things you need to do with kombucha is make tea. Now, my favorite recipe, I can't lay claim to. I actually got it from getkombucha.com. Dave has an awesome recipe. So what we do is we take 4 cups of water. They like to use spring water. The water where I live is so good and so pure. It is just, it is the bomb diggity. I could just bottle it, I'm sure, and sell it. So what we want to do is we want to get the water boiling. So if you know anything about boiling water, a watch pot never boils. So we're going to let that get happy. And I have a lid. Hold on. I wasn't that organized. Yes, you're not getting to look at me or the rest of my kitchen on purpose. So we're going to let that boil up. So I'm going to move this because I'm going to need this in a minute. But I want to show you what else I need. This is where I brew my kombucha in. It is, believe it or not, an old candy jar from Scotland. As a matter of fact, I just was noticing, I think, does it have the year it was made? I don't know. 1958. That was the year that this jar was made. Oh my gosh. So, but this jar has served many purposes in my family. We've used it for storing flour, sugar, and all sorts of things. Now I use it to make my kombucha in. I actually have a couple of them. Here in Australia, I want to make sure that my stuff is secured in plastic, vice the glass. Don't worry, it's BPA free. BPA free. Yeah. So the other thing I have is 4 tea bags. Now this is where I divert slightly from getkombucha.com. Yes, I'm promoting Dave quite a bit here. They have their own tea blends. I haven't tried any of them. I would love to. It just hasn't gotten on my to-do list for ordering. Although I do need to order some more of their concentrated kombucha drops. I find that they're fantastic for tummy aches. As a matter of fact, when my kids have tummy aches, now rather than reaching for anything else, we get the kombucha drops, and literally within 30 minutes, no more tummy ache. Now, another thing that I'm doing just slightly different, because it came to me today, and if you're on my business site, you will have seen it. Amethysts and purple, they're just like screaming at me today. So what I'm doing in order to add into the jar here in a little bit, once the tea's made, is amethyst water. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a gemmy water. So I have about, it looks like it's a cup of my yummy tummy water. You guys are seeing all my coffee and stuff this morning. I have a really tiny counter. And you can see my little amethyst in there. It's getting happy. So, in this amethyst actually just got done spending some amazing time in the morning sun. Just playing and tumbling and having a good old time. So, the next thing after I get this to boil, we're going to, and it's okay, it's still not hot. I'm going to steep the tea bags in here, and they're organic, and look, there are no, on these particular ones, no staples. I shouldn't be advertising, should I? There are no staples for attaching anything, which I like. I like that quite a bit. But I'm going to steep this the tea bags in the pot for about 5 to 10 minutes, depending upon how strong I want it. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar to the tea while it cools. After the tea cools, I'm going to add the SCOBY, which is the bacteria, or I want to say bacteria cake. Sort of like, yeah, but that's exactly what it is. I'm going to add that into this jar, along with some previous tea that I've already made, some previous kombucha, to get that going. Now, I promised to tell you what I ended up doing here in Australia. So briefly, I will explain. I went to the Mind Body Spirit Festival that they have twice a year here in Sydney back in October, and they had a vendor there that sold kombucha. Well, I happened to be talking to this vendor, and I said, oh yeah, I make my own. I just need to figure out where I can buy a SCOBY here in Australia. And he said to me, he shows me my bottle, or the bottle of kombucha, and he turns it upside down. It was wonderful. And when you buy your own kombucha in the store, you'll see that there's Mother, which is the bacteria cake, which is still in the bottle. He said, take this bottle, and I bought the bottle. He says, take it home and make your tea, and then add half the bottle, or add, what was it? I had to add a cup. I think I added 1.5 cups into my original tea, which was this. And you'll create kombucha. And I did. And I have to show you, I ended up being really bad. So hold on a second. And I didn't make another kombucha batch right away. And one of the things that has happened is, now remember, this started off as liquid, and I'm going to cut it. I'll show you. Okay, this started off as a liquid, and you can see, this is a dirty jar on the outside, but you can see that it created its own SCOBY. All right, this tea was very strong. I made it a lot stronger than I initially had wanted to. So as a matter of fact, to the point where I have so much SCOBY, I realized I don't have a lot of the juice, which is okay because I still had another bottle of kombucha, and I opened that and it's outside. It's outside because it was it went and exploded everywhere. So I learned long ago, you open the kombucha bottles outside. At least the ones that I end up making, because I make a mess. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this with gloves and clean hands and everything, and then put it in this jar. And I'll probably end up getting 2 batches running, because I have another one of these jars that I'll go grab. And then what you do is you cover it with cheesecloth, and you use a heavy elastic band. Funny, I have a plethora of cheesecloth that I ended up bringing from the States with me. So that was really cool. You just heard my washing machine sing to me, if you were wondering what that noise was. So what I just wanted to show you what does happen. So remember, my SCOBY back in October, and I don't even think I put it together. Actually, I didn't put it together until before our Thanksgiving, because I didn't bottle it until after we celebrated Thanksgiving, which was November 29th. I kept it in the bottle in our refrigerator, because once you make it, you need to refrigerate it. And that prevents the mother from growing further. And so, yeah, this is what's been happening just since then. And today is January 30th. So I just wanted to show you my little fancy coffee pot there, my French press. I wanted to show you what I had done, and the fact that, look, I'm going to amplify this, and I'm putting a Gemmy in there, making some Gemmy water. So I will come back and I'll show you what I do next as the process goes. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.